Making fairy wings or angel wings can be done in any design you require. However, for this class, I am using nail polish as well as using layers and layers to create this effect, as well as using wires. So wires, nail polish, and 2 to 3, at least 4 or 5 coats in order to create this effect. So the wings will be soft and pliable, but they're sturdy enough so it won't break. Using nail polish, you have to be aware of the scent. Make sure you're wearing a mask or have lots of ventilation, as it is required that you use several layers to get the density and the effect that you want. When you first start using nail polish, you need to actually be very gentle. So we will use at least 2 strands of wire because we're making both wings. We would design it according to our liking, meaning you can use your own design, like you can pencil out the design you want, then bend the wires accordingly, or you can freestyle it as I am doing and then go ahead and create your wings. Just make sure that they both are the same size, unless you're making multiple size wings. So you made some bigger and a pair that's smaller. But if they are just one pair, you definitely need to make sure both sides are equal or same in height and width, and also in design. So what I've done is go ahead and make both of them at the same time. I don't do one, like shape it and then go ahead and shape the other. I shape both pieces of wire at the same time. You just want to be careful because it's a miniature wing, it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of finesse it, but be patient and take your time and go ahead and bend the wires accordingly. You will need, I'm using a jeweler set tool here. You can also use that or any pliers that's able to manipulate the wires. That's totally fine. So my jeweler set toolkit here is perfect, as I am using small pieces and I don't need any chunky pliers that I'm not able to manipulate or maneuver. Once you have formed your wires and they are perfect in your eyes according to your design, go ahead and twist both ends separately so you can tie them off and there won't be any gaps in between, because what we're trying to make is a bubble wand. So when you dip the wings into the liquid, which is the nail polish liquid, it will create a wand effect and slightly or gently pull up and you have a sealing. So the wires will become a sealing surface or circumference so that the liquid will remain in between the wires. So when you're all done, go ahead, get yourself a container, or what I've done is use parchment paper as well, because I was trying not to make a mess of my environment. Make sure you have nail polish remover handy. That's in case it goes on any surface that you don't want it to. As it is your first try, you may just make a bit of a mess, but that's totally okay. You got your cleaner upper, which is your nail polish remover. You want to have the color that you want your wings to be in, as well as you would need some nail hardener. So the nail polish and the nail hardener. You can use a thinner texture for the nail polish, like the nail hardener, like the foundation or the base coat, or you can use a nail hardener at the end, because the hardener or the top coat, which is much more thicker than the base coat, you can definitely use the base coat to prepare the first layer, and then once you've built it up, you can use a hardener, clear nail hardener, and create that sealing effect. But you will also need to use your color in between. So if you are going to do pink or silver or gray, As I've done here, my base coat, it's a bit of a shimmer pink because that's the effect that I want. So I've already done a layer, and then I will go ahead and dip my my wings in just to make sure that I have the first layer down and it is coated, because whatever you have first, that's actually what's going to come up on top. Then once I have that settled in, you want to go ahead and just add some more just to cover the entire metal, the entire wire. So you just gently put it on. It tends to get a bit dried up because it is being exposed to the air. So you want to make sure that while you are working, you're working a little bit fast so that you don't have a hard surface working on while you think it should be moist and pliable, because nail polish will dry up. So you go ahead and add the color that you actually want. But before I did that, I actually applied my base clear nail polish first before I apply my colors on top, just so that I create that that first layer seal before I actually add the nail polish and cover the entire wire. Once I've done that, I let it sit just for a little bit so it can just be set. Then I go ahead and I apply some more clear base coat on top of my color just to form that seal. What I'm trying to create is sufficient liquid to be in the container so that my wand is actually absorbing and taking up the entire liquid, so it's not leaving any gap. So I kind of shake it around a little bit just to make sure that every inch of that wing surface is covered. Once that is done, then I will go ahead and gently roll it around. As you can see, my parchment paper is there. That is so it does not mess up my container. But when you're done and you're satisfied, you will ever so gently kind of pull it up, being aware that it might pop because of the air and it's actually a bubble. So you kind of finesse it around a little bit just to make sure that you're getting that wand effect and that your bubble is actually being formed in the middle. So the main idea of all of this is to actually get that first layer, which is very, excuse me, very finicky. But it is very important that you actually get that perfect bubble. So just go ahead, pick that up. Once you've already picked it up and you realize that it is okay, you have to be very careful when you are putting it on a cork board. It's just like one of those boards that you can actually stick wires in, like your packaging board. They use it for packaging where you can be able to protect any furniture or any electronics. One of those materials, I don't want to say it's cork, forgive me, I forgot the name, but you want to put it in something that is able to hold the wire firm so it can air dry. After that is done and you're completely satisfied, be very careful when moving around. Go ahead and do the second wing the same way, unless you're making another pair of wing. You can add some colors. So I've added some blue here just to make sure that you see what I'm trying to say regarding the different colors and what color you would like to create. So I've added some blue just to show you the effect as well. And when you are all done and satisfied and you've picked up that bubble in the wing, go ahead and put it on the board again and let it air dry. Ensure that the wings are completely dry. These are created over several days. I would say within a week, because you have to apply more and more layers. And the key is to make sure that the layers are completely dry. I make sure that they are over 24 hours because once you start applying that second layer, the first and the second layer are the most trickiest. So you want to be ever so gentle. But the thing is, if it breaks or the seal is broken and there's no more to add the second layer, just go ahead and start the process over again. The only thing is that you have to wait a longer period in order for it to get hard and thicken up to the density that you want. But once you've captured the essence of that and it's no longer a challenge, and you keep applying a third and a fourth layer, you keep applying layers until you are satisfied with the thickness. Once you've reached your third layer, you can go ahead and start adding clear polish or nail hardener onto both sides of the wing, both the top and the under layer of the wing, in order to get the both sides coated, so when you're touching it, it doesn't feel like it's just one-sided. So you want to be careful with the second layer too, because if it's too thick, it will have a sink or a dent in the center of the wing, because the liquid is a little bit too thick and everything pulls to the center. So you kind of want to spin it around a little bit, let it spread, turn it around. But the essence is to get full coverage. So once you've done all that and you're satisfied, you've let it dry over a period of time, able to touch it, it's all nice and dry thoroughly. Keep adding your layers, and once you've added your layers and you're satisfied, you can go ahead and put another sealant on it. I add Mod Podge. You can also do that as well, or you could stick with your top coat and give it that complete seal. Keep sealing it. Then once you're done, you let your wings dry thoroughly another day, and then you're able to start designing it for your miniature doll. All right, see, I'm already just trying to add directly from my polish straight onto the wings with a brush, but in doing that, instead of dipping it, you have to make sure that there's sufficient liquid on the brush and you're actually not putting the brush on the surface of the wing, because you're just slightly brushing the liquid onto it, because the brush is a little bit too brittle and will be damaging the wing, and you might have to start the process all over. So just be careful. If you're doing direct application, do not apply the brush, but only the liquid. You can use the brush to slightly drag it, but not to brush it itself. All right, so I hope you enjoy this wing tutorial. This is how I make my wings, because I wanted to do something that is very economical as well as very durable, and you don't have to use any additional tools or get any additional tools to create this. So not using shrink-it-ings, not using foil paper or anything, but actually creating wire dolls with wire wings. And I do like this process, and in order to get that translucent kind of a look, and also one that is permanent. So this is my solution, and I hope you enjoyed. If you're not able to handle nail polish, you can probably go ahead and use Mod Podge, but go ahead and give it several layers. Maybe that will help. All right, so thank you so much, and see you in class.